Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Michael Schminder. He's the CEO of IQ AI subsidiary Imaging Biometrics, as well as Dr. Al Musella, who's just been appointed to the board of IQ AI as a non-executive director. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Stephen. It's nice to be here with you.
So, Mike, let me start with you. You've announced that you've extended your partnership with GE Healthcare to broaden access to your imaging technology. Take us through the renewed agreement.
Yeah, I'd love to. The GE agreement, it's obviously significant. Anytime you have an agreement with a major global player in the healthcare, it's very exciting. Um, it's significant in itself because this is a unique agreement in that they've taken us through an onboarding process where they've integrated our products into their internal sourcing databases and product catalogs with unique GE part numbers. So everything has been internalized. It should result in a very streamlined selling process and faster sales cycle.
So, as I understand it, they're going to be distributing your IB Neuro and your IB Delta T1 platforms. Tell us more about those platforms and the potential for them.
Right. So those two platforms are our quantitative technologies used to assess brain tumors and brain tumor response. So those two complement each other very well. With the Delta T1 maps really takes a lot of the subjectivity out of what's commonly done today and makes it very easy for radiologists to identify where the true regions of contrast enhancement are for brain tumors, the problem areas. And then within that, we use IB Neuro to then stratify the blood volume levels, which have been shown to correlate very well with brain tumor grade, tumor, and pseudoprogression. So those two are kind of a one-two punch, and they're really bread and butter tools that every neuroradiologist should use for the treatment of brain tumors for high-grade gliomas as well as brain metastases.
And the potential markets out there for these tools?
Oh, absolutely. So the GE is a major player. They're installed in all over. And what's unique about this relationship, I should add, is that the pricing model that we typically use is based on the number of MRI scans or number of exams done by a site. But instead, this agreement is based on a per scanner basis. So it's a different approach, but GE convinced us that this would make it easier for their salespeople to offer to their existing clients. So we agreed, and we're eager to see how this plays out. But there's a lot of scanners in the United States that are GE scanners, so there's an immediate market there. And so this translation should be fast, and hopefully it's going to be a step change in where we are at in 2024 going into 2025.
Mike, other exciting news out this week. You announced that Dr. Musella has been appointed to the IQ AI board. How do you see his appointment strengthening the board of the company?
Oh, it's going to be a tremendous lift for us. Just aside, the work that he and his foundation have done for the entire brain tumor community has been remarkable. He took an interest in our imaging platform years ago and immediately understood how it can help doctors make better decisions for their patients. And more recently, he's taken a very strong interest in our phase 1 clinical trial that we're sponsoring for oral gallium multilate, as well as our expanded access program. So he's joining us at a really exciting and important time. He's going to bring a fresh perspective and loads of experience on so many levels, from, again, clinical trials to FDA regulations, expanded access programs, and even he's been a strong advocate for getting new agents approved through the FDA process. So I've learned that he's a man of action. He gets things done, and that's exactly what we need right now.
Well, Al, I think we need to bring you in here as the man of action. Could you give us a bit of your background and also a bit more about the foundation itself?
I used to be a podiatrist in private practice until I had two relatives diagnosed with glioblastomas. I got very interested in brain tumors back in 1992. That's like 32 years ago. I formed the foundation and I retired from my podiatry practice and did this full time. We see lots of patients. We have a patient navigation program where I must have navigated tens of thousands of patients already through this process. And there's two big problems that we have. The first one is when you look at an MRI scan, you don't know the difference between true progression or pseudoprogression and what percentage of what looks like a tumor on the scan is actually a tumor. In particular, there's one treatment, I won't get into the details, but patients have been stopping using the treatment because the first scan looks bad. And everybody thought, oh, this is terrible. Then we start using the fraction FTB mapping, and you can see that it's actually treatment effects that's growing, and the tumor itself is actually shrinking. So my thought was to take this and try this on these patients, and we're actually starting a pilot project on this now, and Imaging Biometrics actually completed a small pilot project on it recently, and they're presenting it right now, that shows these people should stay the course, keep using the treatment, and this is going to make a major impact on these patients' lives. Really, there's no other easy way to tell the difference between pseudoprogression and true progression other than a biopsy, and nobody wants to do a biopsy every couple of months. So we looked at the whole landscape, trying to see which technology is the best at distinguishing the two. And we found that Imaging Biometrics had the best one that's widely available, relatively inexpensive, simple to do, and can be repeated all the time. So we latched onto this, and we want to try to get Imaging Biometrics technology into every clinical trial and actually every individual patient that's being treated. So as I got involved with this company, I saw that they had this clinical trial going of gallium malthoate, which is an oral agent that's very well tolerated, and some people had pretty good responses. So we started pushing people into the clinical trial. The only trouble was it's a small trial. It's localized to Wisconsin, and people don't want to travel to Wisconsin all the time. Sorry to say that. So we helped convince Imaging Biometrics to open up an expanded access program, and it's been wildly successful. Patients love it. And you combine it with the FTV mapping, and we could see if it's helping. If it's not helping, you could stop right away. If it is helping, you continue on with it, and you can make the decision much earlier than in the old days. In the old days, it used to take 2 cycles of MRIs to tell if it's pseudoprogression, and you waste like a 3 or 4 month extra period. And that 3 or 4 months might be enough time to try something else if you had a switch. So they're bringing 2 excellent technologies in, and I wanted to get involved with this, and they invited me to the board, and I accepted.
And what excites you about joining the board of IQ AI, Al?
Oh, it's the opportunity to help them grow this so that it's the standard of care, like on every brain MRI. It seems in this profession, they're very slow to uptake new technologies, even when there's such a huge benefit and no downside at all. I think we just have to get this in front of their eyeballs, and I gave them a few ideas of ways to get this in front of a large number of neuro-oncologists and neurosurgeons. Once they see it, they fall in love with it. When I first saw it, I said, this is amazing. Everybody should have this. And these doctors will be the same way. They'll say, we show them this in the expanded access program, and they're going to say, oh, I want this for all my patients. And they could easily get access to it. It's not like it's a difficult thing to do. And you could use the standard MRI sequences for brain. You don't even have to do anything in addition to it. It's just behind the scenes processing. So it's perfect.
Well, congratulations again on joining the board. Thank you both very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
That's Imaging Biometrics CEO Michael Schminder, as well as IQ AI new board director, Dr. Al Musella.